feel like it's really easy to look at the current state of the world and to understand why people are struggling so much mentally and emotionally. But I feel like that this has been a problem for a long time, and it really just does come down to the mentality of our society. We're sort of living in such a fast-paced society where things really do need to be bigger and better and quicker. We want better houses and better jobs, and we want more money and more stuff, and we want to be more productive, and we want to be better looking, and all of this stuff and these norms and these stereotypes and these ideals, and it really just creates such a negative culture and environment and mindset where I think we're just going so fast and can't keep up with the world and the things around us. And I know for me personally, like as a result of, you know, the increased pressure from like different aspects of my life, but also just that I place upon myself, it's just resulted in kind of an emotional spiral of late. And sometimes when you are spiraling, you feel powerless to control it or to stop it or to do anything to be able to alleviate, I guess, just some of the stress, the anxiety, and just the fear and frustration that is caused from that. So today I wanted to talk about the things that keep me grounded and at peace and slow and quiet when I do feel like my life is spiraling around me. I feel like it is important to develop your own habits and routines and systems and practices that can help you, because if you don't take that time to nurture yourself, it is going to eat you up physically and emotionally. And you know, stress is actually a bit of a disease on your body, and we don't realize how much of a toll that it takes until it does some serious damage. And obviously we want to be able to prevent that as much as we can. So something that I'm still learning how to do, and I'm not very good at it, but I know that it does help so much, is to actually rest and have some downtime where I'm not doing anything. I'm not focusing on being productive at all. I'm actually probably being unproductive, but it is really beneficial for my health and well-being. I find it very difficult to get to sleep, and so sometimes, you know, having a bit of a sleep in on the weekend is actually what my body is yearning for so much. And you know, coming home in the afternoons and not smashing out my to-do list, but actually sitting down, resting, taking a little bit of time out, yeah, it really just helps me to reset my mind, and then also just give my body that time to relax and to repair if necessary. Another thing that has been really important is exercise, but I used to be really into very intense exercises where all my exercise would be made up of weight training and cardio. Now I pretty much do no cardio at all, and I might only do weights once or twice a week. Instead, I'm really focusing on grounding and slow exercises like yoga and Pilates. I really love yin yoga because you're holding those poses and it's all about breathing, and I just find that it helps me to be very mindful and calm, and you know, it's also a great stretch as well. I've also been getting really into meditation over the course of this year. I obviously started kind of getting involved in it a bit last year, but I find that it has become more of an actual practice and routine that I implement into my weekly schedule since 2021. And I'm actually going to do a 30 days of meditation to just like see what that does to me physically and also emotionally, but I can see, you know, the benefits of it, even doing it as inconsistently as I currently am. It's a very mindful and grounding practice. And I mean, for me also, it's been one that has kind of stirred up a lot of emotions within me, but I think that that's a good thing because I tend to suppress my emotions, and it's caused like me to, yeah, start that healing process. And I think that there's a lot of things that we bury internally, and it's only when you become quiet and still and you're there with your emotions and you're there with your thoughts that you actually start to heal and deal with those things that, you know, have been around for who knows how long, but you just haven't done anything about it. Another thing that I like to do is to take some time out for self-care of my body. So whether that's doing a face mask, having a bubble bath, just times where I feel like I'm relaxing, but I also feel like I'm doing something physically to nurture myself. Eating great food is really important in there as well. Drinking lots of water, having relaxing cups of tea, and just sitting and enjoying nature. I also love going out for walks with my dog. We pretty much do that every afternoon. I live in such a magical place, and I think that there's just something very healing and peaceful about being out in nature. And when your life is sort of spiraling, just sitting in silence out in nature is just such a comforting kind of experience. Something else that I've been really taking the time to do this year is to journal. I used to do it a lot when I was younger, but sort of haven't seen it as a valuable experience as I've, you know, grown up. But I do feel that it is very cathartic, and it also just sort of helps you to work out your feelings. I find that if I'm feeling stressed and frustrated and things are feeling overwhelming, if I can sort of just write it down, you start to see the bigger picture a little bit. And I have a tendency to catastrophize things and make things seem a lot worse than what they actually are. But by writing it down, expressing how I feel, what's sort of going on, all of that sort of stuff, it really just puts a lot of things into perspective. And another thing for me is creating a to-do list. So I'm the type of person that, like, often I like to be very productive. I'm smashing out my to-do list. But I feel like if things are feeling overwhelming for you and you feel like you've just got so much going on, you're not sure where to start, writing it down, creating that to-do list, breaking things down into smaller, more manageable chunks, just allows you to have a greater perspective on your situation, make things more manageable, and yeah, it just seems like less daunting and less of an anxiety causing experience, the stuff that you have got going on. I also find things that are just slow kind of experiences are really good for, yeah, when you feel like life is spiraling out of control. So for me, that's things like reading, sitting down and just watching like a really good feel-good movie, having some like meaningful conversations with Dave and other people that I love, just, yeah, great experiences that help me feel happy. Watching sermons online, I particularly try and find ones that relate to kind of how I'm feeling in that present moment. And all of these things help me to feel more at peace, help me feel more grounded, help me feel like, not necessarily like I have control of things, because I think that's the whole point. The whole point is that we don't have control of things, and it's about letting go of control and having peace even in the chaos. And that's like such a journey for me, and something that I'm still trying to learn, because I find that personally I do get very anxious, I do crave control, and And when things feel out of control for me, that's when I feel like life is spiraling. But activities that sort of help me to have a deeper sense of my own identity and a deeper sense of inner peace and calm have been really helpful in building my own personal resilience in these scenarios. And maybe that's something that you guys need to think about is, yeah, just a bit more of like discovering who you are and discovering what are some things that can help you to be grounded and like have a deeper sense of inner peace and calm. And I feel like there's so many distractions in our world. There's so many things that are competing for our attention, and sometimes integrating more hobbies and routines and practices that are actually eliminating some of those distractions. Personally, I have been off social media for the last 3 months, and I'm actually going to do a video about that maybe in a couple more months, so I can just, you know, see how it plays out. But I feel like that has really helped to remove some of that external noise that's going on. There's a lot of external noise. So how can you create quiet and mindfulness in your daily routine, in your daily practice? Because I think they're the types of things that are going to make us feel that greater sense of inner peace. And we can't control the stuff that goes on in our lives. It's not about having control over everything, but it's about having the tools and the habits to be able to be resilient and persevere even when things are tough. I know this is a bit of a different video for me. I normally don't like to film these sort of sit down videos because I'm not an expert on this sort of stuff. It's me just kind of working through it myself and wanting to share with you the things that are working for me. So if you have any of your own tips, please feel free to leave them down below and let me know what are you doing to help create, yeah, that little pocket of peace and quiet and stillness and like slow living in your daily routine. I'd be really interested to know, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.